Hi guys! So it's Sunday. I do plan on making videos every Sunday just to let you know. I didn't last Sunday because the Saturday I was at Caribana and I totally needed like a day or so to just cleanse. I was so irritable after. So today I want to talk about my Caribana experience. So first and foremost, I think just like being an empath and having to go to Caribana, it took me a little bit to cleanse my energy after. There was a point literally during the parade where I was standing there and I could feel so many people's energies in my body. I was literally like, oh my God, like, is there grass somewhere? Can I go lay on some grass? It's the middle of Toronto too, so it's like concrete jungle. There's not very much grass. Or I was like, is there a tree somewhere? Like, I just need to go hug a tree because my heart hurts so much. It was having a hard time breathing. And then I could just feel so many aches and pains in my like hip and my back. And it wasn't because of the walking or the dancing, any of it. It was just being an empath and like taking on other people's stuff around them. But it's just a testimony to some of the things that like you go through being an empath, but I don't really let it stop me. I just know what I need to do the next day to recover, and that's just having some quiet time, maybe actually hugging a tree, touching a tree, whatever it takes, right? Okay, so today's video I want to talk about, or I feel very compelled to talk about, my why behind Caribana and why it was so important for me to do this. So number one, I absolutely love soca music because it's so vibrational. It really helps like pull me into a positive state when I'm feeling down or I'm going through some stuff or I'm through some healing. It helps get me through my workouts that my personal trainer gives me because those are ridiculous and incredibly hard. So putting on some soca helps with that. Second, I love dancing. Dancing is a beautiful form to be able to move energy through your body. It's very liberating. In ancient civilizations, dancing was part of a ceremony, and it was about telling a story. And nowadays, we use it for slightly different purposes. But it's incredibly liberating, and it actually puts you more in your body, because if you're dancing wholeheartly, you're just moving your body to the rhythm, and it can become a form of like meditation. And then lastly, but the one that hits the most close to my home heart, is about owning who you are. And it's self-love and body positive. So for as long as I can remember, oh, this is heavy. For as long as I can remember, probably even since like kindergarten, I had been teased, and it didn't really matter like how I showed up in the world, what I did. I was always being like bullied for something. So it was like my brother, like people knowing my brother and then knowing me, and they didn't like my brother, so then they automatically associated like him with me. And he's a great human, like he's just a human, like there's nothing wrong with him, right? So, or it was like my body, that I was curvier or whatever, and they didn't like aspects of that. So I had always been teased for just showing up and being me. And at the time, when I was young, like I didn't know any better. I was just like, oh, like I don't understand this. And then as things happened and as time elapsed, like that really started to wear on my consciousness and like who I was and how I was going to show up in the world. And I started to have really bad self-esteem. And I would say like it probably hit a peak maybe near the end of my public school career, where I was getting teased so bad that I was just like, I was like on the phone with my mom. I was like, I just don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to have to endure this. Like, I would look in the mirror and I would want to cut aspects of my body off just because I was so uncomfortable with who I was. And that's learned behavior from dealing with people around me or society and what society deems is beautiful. So it took me a really long time to work through those wounds and heal that and not become triggered. And then there was a period of time where I worked in a fitness facility and gym. So I worked in a gym for 3.5 years, maybe. And that was times where like it definitely, the triggers were there. Like I had spent a lot of time like working through my confidence and being better and working to feel better about myself. But when you're working out, a lot of the time you're in a facility that is geared to helping people look a certain way. And it's an industry that should not be geared towards that. And it's become slightly skewed to what it should be. But it's not necessarily about, getting healthy and then loving aspects of yourself, which is what it should be about, essentially. So there would be times where I'd be triggered in what I was doing, or I would end up comparing myself to people. So it was another ebb in the flow of things to help me learn, like, this is not how you need things to be. Like you need to own your body. It doesn't matter, how much you work out or whatever. What at the end of the day, what matters is your self-love for yourself. So, and I think this was a great experience for me to work in this industry, not only because it's an avenue of health, but it gave me an understanding of just how many people are affected by lack of self-love or lack of confidence or body image issues. And it's men, it's women. I remember like walking into the change room and seeing women who are incredibly fit just staring at themselves and like tearing themselves down. I remember like my girlfriend, one of my really good girlfriends, she competes and shows. And I remember like just hearing about the aftermath of competing, and that stuff that people don't really talk to you about or prepare you for is how your self-image is going to plummet like after you compete, or how OCD you can become because your hormones are off. Like no one talks to you about those aspects. Like no one is saying on the stage to those girls like, hey, you look phenomenal just because that's who you are, regardless of this competition or not. Like they're picking them apart based on how they look. And our entire society has been like that. Our media is like that. Until recently, there's been a huge movement to helping empower women and men, because this totally affects them as well. I know so many men who, regardless of how, thin or muscular or overweight they might be, like they still have self-esteem issues, body issues, self-love issues. They're not going to like come out and tell you that. They often like cover it up in their like big demeanor or, lifting weights and trying to like get bigger, but it's because they don't feel good enough in themselves. And this was my why behind Caribana. My real why behind Caribana, other than like the music and the dancing. I had felt for so long so unworthy, and I had torn myself apart for so long, and it had taken me years, and I still have my triggers like here and there for sure because I'm human. But it had taken me years of healing and working through this and saying affirmations and telling myself that I'm beautiful, not in an egotistical way. It's not about the ego. It's about remembering who you were born to be. You were born as an infinite being of love and possibility. It's just as you grew up and as you were put into families, and delved into society, like you lost that knowing and that knowledge. So for me, Caribana was about stepping into my divine power in so many ways and just owning who I was and owning that knowledge of like you're beautiful no matter what, no matter how much skin is showing or not showing, no matter the color of your skin. Like that's another beautiful aspect of Caribana. It's basically unity consciousness. Like it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, purple, blue, green. Like it doesn't matter how young or old you are. It doesn't matter your body weight or if you've got scars in your body. Like none of that matters. What matters is you showing up and just having a bloody good time, which is what I love so much about it. And that's exactly what it was for me. It was huge. And like I basically did this by myself. Like I knew of two other people going into it. And I did spend time with them during the parade, and they were wonderful. But like I showed up by myself, like found my mask group. Like I just did this for me. And I did this to step into those feminine aspects of myself and just love it. And not once during that whole day did I ever question like, oh, am I good enough to be here? Or, oh, like her costume fits differently on her. Nope. I held my head high and I just let it go. And it is the most liberating experience ever to just show up and be you, to just own it and to feel beautiful in who you are and never have to ever think about someone judging you that day of, because like that was the furthest thing on my mind. I didn't care about any of that. I just showed up and was like, hey world, this is me. This is an aspect of who I am, and this is how I want to show up today for me. And that was really empowering. And I must say, like, I want to shout out the women who, came that day or helped like tie me into my costume, or sent me all of the positive messages the day of, because they knew how much of a big deal this was. And again, like it wasn't about the lack of clothing that I was wearing or the attention behind it. It was me showing up for me, but also showing up for all of my clients and all of the beautiful souls in my life, whether they're male or female, because we are all suffering on some level. And I wanted them to understand and get like, it's okay that you're suffering. Acknowledge that you're suffering or you have these things, but man, work through that and know that you can do this. And no one's going to think like any less of you for doing it. No one's going to judge you because you're doing this for you and you're owning who you are. You're owning how beautiful you are. I also want to shout out to the Boob Book movement or project, who's also embracing body positivity, self-love, and again, like owning aspects of yourself. So that's kind of my why behind it. And I made it through this without getting like super emotional, which is great. But but it's been huge. It's been my entire life. It's one of the lessons that I came and reincarnated here to deal with or help educate people about. And I'm super passionate about it. I had so much fun. And I really felt like I needed to share that with you guys. I also have a special announcement. So, in light of the body positive movement, I am the lucky candidate to be able to launch Wandering Soul's new creation. So, Wandering Soul is amazing. I'll put her information down below so you can go check her out. Absolutely love her product. She puts so much time, love, and passion to all of her pieces. She makes like custom crystal gemstone jewelry. She's so beautiful. She's one of my soul sisters. I love her. I'm super biased, but I love her stuff. So go check it out. But her and I have had definitely not the same struggle, but similar. Like no one's going to have the same story, but when you boil things down to similar suffering. So for her and I, body positive has been a big thing, and we will have talks about it, and we, talk each other up all the time, to make sure like we just stay in check. Like we're keep moving forward with the healing and everything. So she felt like this needs to be a thing. Like we need to campaign this more. Like women need to step more into this, and not just women, but also men. We need to start loving ourselves more. And if we want the world to change, like essentially that's what we need to do. Like we need to pour into ourselves. We need to love ourselves. The change comes within and then it ripples out. Like that's essentially the beauty of all things. So keeping that in mind, she decided she was going to create a crystal bracelet that represents self-love, self-empowering. It's launching soon, so you can pre-order it. It's stunning. Like this is what it looks like. I'm so excited. When she was telling me about that, I was like, this is the most amazing idea. Can I launch this? Like, please, can I launch this? And she's like, yeah, girl, do it. So I'm going to link her information in below. You can pre-order it, but essentially it's this like super soft, subtle bracelet that helps you to remember who you are, because essentially like this is who you are. You are divine. You are perfect exactly the way you are, scars and all. And if anything, like that makes up who you are. It's not really about cancel, clear, and deleting that or taking that out and overwriting it. It's not. It's about owning like, okay, this is my story. This is how I came. This is my belief system. This is my shadow side of myself. And I love that shadow side just as much as I love this new confident, divine being over here. It's not really one or the other. It's about loving both of them. So her bracelets help empower women and help you to remember who you are, and they're beautiful. So go check them out. I'm super excited to launch it. Guys, I hope you have an amazing day. Like, I just hope you have an amazing day. It's Sunday. Go enjoy, spend some time with your family. Go send someone a beautiful message. Give yourself a break today if you've been hustling all week. Like I know some of you have been like going all week, grinding out. It's Sunday. Give yourself some break. Give yourself compassion. Rest today, right? That's all for this video. I'll be posting again videos hopefully every Sunday, maybe some extra ones here and there. We'll see. I'm not super into editing things, so they're going to be pretty like raw and authentic because that's kind of what I'm about. But please like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to connect with me. Again, like I'll put my Instagrams down below. I'll put Wandering Souls so you can reach out to her to get your bracelets. Boop, boop. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye. Please remember, You are divine, beautiful, infinite beings just showing up exactly the way you are. Waking up in the morning, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. It's just who you are. So spend some time today. Remember that. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Much love.